Squad Pod. Squad Pod.
Hey everyone, welcome to Squad Pod Sports, where we bring you our thoughts on the latest games and news around the sports world, brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network. NBA playoffs, of course, are underway. The play-in games were today as we're filming. There's a game going on right now. So we're definitely going to be talking about playoffs, what our brackets are kind of looking like here going forward. And so, of course, some your NBA hot and nots going into the playoffs and some other NBA
edition.
Yeah, into the playoff edition. And some other NBA news, of course. Then we're just going to touch on some NFL news as well. There's not really as much this week. More stuff for like pretty much the bias bubble. I know you probably got a lot of Patriots news.
Oh, yeah.
I got some for the Eagles. But I do have some other stuff as well. And then you want to kind of talk about like NFL MVP, like way too early MVP votes.
Way too early MVP votes. We don't even know certain quarterback going to be on a certain team type of situation yet. But I want to do some. We already did a couple about.
Yeah, like I think last week we just touched
ago.
on it or something. Like we talked about like I think I had a list of like what the sports book have them at right now.
Right.
But I mean, who we personally think.
Let's jot them down here. I'll write the date down.
Mark
put it up on the board over here. And like speaking of that, I know this is a little wild tangent here, but we didn't address this quite yet. This is a couple weeks old now. Alex was on our show a couple weeks ago, and he told us that the Nets would finish the season 9-2 in the last 11 games, and then they proceeded to lose like 4 games straight in that.
Yeah.
So like, sorry Alex, but that one did not come true.
Sadly, my son's one didn't come true either. And like the last game of the season, it happened.
I was gonna bring that up too.
Bro, my
Wyatt
heart like broke.
predicted
I like
they
got on
would
Twitter
have
that
one
night
seed.
and it was like Jazz like got the 1 seed. And I was like, bro, last game. Oh, so close.
Tear it up,
Oh, so close.
throw it away. The
Oh,
only two left on the board right now is that mine. That's Justin Fields will be best rookie quarterback. That's just the ways away from. We'll see if that's true or not. And
Yeah.
then we both of us called Arizona winning the NFC West.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
we'll see what happens.
But yeah, we'll talk about the NBA and stuff, and then of course NHL playoffs are underway. We'll just kind of hint a little bit on that because there's only been a couple games so far. And then of course the bias bubble and crazy sports fact of the podcast. The first bit of news I have here for the NBA before we kind of go into the playoff situation. NBA announced new social justice award named after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which is really
I saw
cool.
that. That was pretty awesome. Like,
Yeah.
And it's just another thing. Like it's kind of like the Walter Payton Award, like the Man of the Year award, but it's like a different type of thing. Like I like it.
Yeah, the annual award will recognize players making strides in the fight for social justice, which is
Right.
great, man.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. And of course, I have some other stuff here. The Sacramento Kings missed the playoffs for the 15th straight season.
15 straight seasons. Jeez.
15 straight seasons, man.
Where was I 15 years ago? In high school? Like maybe like geez.
We were probably
man.
in high school, like going into high school, pretty much.
Yeah, like middle school going into high school. Like geez. Dang. Sorry, Sacramento.
Sorry. After nearly 60 years in broadcasting, legendary Marv Albert will be retiring after the 2021 NBA playoffs, man.
60 years in
60
just
years.
broadcasting.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Legendary
amazing.
career. Gonna miss hearing him like broadcasting like the the playoff games and everything.
Right. Congratulations on his retirement.
Exactly. And we're gonna talk about main man Steph Curry here a little bit. Golden State Steph Curry has won the 2020-2021 NBA scoring title that we've talked about over the past couple weeks.
He did it.
It's the second of his career. Curry and Michael Jordan are the only players to capture a scoring title after turning 33 years old.
And he did it with a vengeance, like being quadruple teamed all season.
All season, shooting
Like,
from the
just-
logo, chucking
And then
just
pulled his shirt up like Baron Davis on that last shot. He just like that was good. He's on fire. And we'll get to Curry and the Warriors and versus the Lakers here, but I am very concerned about that. But
yeah.
we'll get to that.
The other thing I have here for him is the only players with multiple scoring titles, MVP awards, and championships are Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Only
He
four.
is. He's one of those transcendent players, like a generational player. He's like a LeBron James, Michael
Yeah, I
Jordan.
mean, I feel like he gets his due. Like people recognize him, but I feel like people don't recognize how good he is. Like
He
what,
changed the game of
how
basketball.
much he's really done. Like his accolades and everything. Like this dude's won multiple MVPs,
He
scoring
changed the
titles.
game of basketball at the end of the day. There are kids that grew up wanting to be like Kobe and like Mike, dunking the
Yeah,
ball, doing the flashy stuff. Now there are kids growing up wanting to be Curry because
yeah.
Curry is just like drink. So that's what they're training.
We
Like
even used to say
he
that, like,
changed
other
it.
than Kobe, when we were at the court, we'd be like, Curry, when we pull it up way from, oh man, way out there, just Curry.
That's what I'm saying, man. See, I feel like he changed the game of basketball for better or worse. We'll see. I like it. It brings more scoring, but like the Pacers dropped 144 points tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I didn't see how many 3-pointers they shot, but like Curry changed the game of basketball at the end of the day, and
yeah,
I respect him for that. So he's a legend in my mind. Still playing,
for
living great.
sure, for sure. Speaking of a lot of good players, this is just a sneak peek of the 2022 free agent class that's coming up after this season. Oh boy, we got Kevin Durant, James Harden, Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard.
After this season,
After this season. These are the free agents that are available after this season. Kevin Durant, James Harden, Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Luka, Bradley Beal, Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, Zach LaVine, Julius Randle, Chris Paul. All these
oh my
huge
God,
names are going to be
that's
free agents next
literally
year.
like a all-star roster.
Yeah,
Like every
available.
name that you said is an all-star.
Yeah,
That's great. Not even like a starter, like an all-star starter most of the time.
yeah. I
That
mean,
is
some of them
incredible.
you can probably like I don't know. I can't really imagine Kevin Durant leaving the Nets at this point. I can imagine him staying. I think Levine's going to end up staying with Chicago.
Luka probably stay in Dallas.
I think Luka. I mean, it would be crazy if Luka went somewhere else, man.
What if Curry
Um,
comes to them Lakers?
I hope not to. I hope not. I think Jimmy's probably going to stay in Miami. I don't see
Yeah.
him really going anywhere else. Who knows about Bradley Beal, man, or Julius Randle, or Kawhi Leonard, man. I mean, there's been
There was
rumors about Kawhi every like offseason now.
The other day though, John Wall posted on Instagram a vote like, what do you think I'll do next year? Stay or leave? You know what I mean? As far as like it was like buyout or trade or like stay. That was
Yeah.
the two options. And then like he even voted for buyout or trade. Like he voted on his own like John Wall's out of Houston next year as well. So
Yeah.
he'll be out somewhere.
I mean, he was kind of checked out after like Harden got traded, and then he was just
He's
surrounded
like,
by new
"Man,
buddies at that point.
fuck this.
Your boy Luke Walton is expected to be the head coach of the Kings next year. Next
Hey, I
season.
mean, to be honest, I don't feel too fondly about Luke Walton. I mean, I love Luke Walton. He did a lot for the Lakers. He won a couple championships with us. You know what I mean? But then as head coach Luke Walton, I'm just like, it was a lot of turmoil, a lot of tumultuous seasons. So Luke Walton, I wish you the best, but stay away from the Lakers right now.
And I can't imagine it's going to get any better for him on the Kings.
For Sacramento,
as the head coach of the Kings. As we already talked about, 15 straight seasons with no playoffs.
Adley Stevens. Well, we talked about this too. Like Sacramento's so young. They're so young. They're
They
very
probably
talented.
have like one of the youngest rosters.
So we'll see where they are. Maybe he can turn them around. But Brad Stevens is another coach that I think could potentially be somewhere else next year, pending this game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it last night when on the stream was, man, his seat's getting hot.
It is, man.
His seat's getting hot, man. I would not be surprised. I mean, Thibodeau got fired for like, even though he was having some successful seasons and playoffs runs and stuff, it just wasn't enough after so long, you know. They decided to find someone else new. So who knows who Boston brings in next if that happens.
I mean, as of right now, and like I said, this is Tuesday when we're recording this, so the game's long done by now. But as of right now, they're leading 69-56 in the third quarter. So Boston might end up pulling that out.
Oh, Boston's winning right now?
They're winning right now. So they might end up
Jason
going
Tatum might be having a game.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, what else you got there?
Only active players with at least 3 titles and 2 MVP awards are Steph Curry and LeBron James.
Of course. Of course. And a legendary matchup. I can't wait. I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
So
that's going to be a
excited.
good one. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Phoenix Suns coach Monty Williams has been voted as NBCA's Coach of the Year, apparently,
Well
according to
deserved.
Woj.
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
They were the breakout team in the bubble last year, so like I'm glad a lot of people were talking about they're going to be great next season, and look, they were great this year, number 2 seed in the West.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them. We might end up matching up with them in the first round, so we'll see what happens.
The last bit of news here is the juiciest that came out today. It's widely believed throughout the league that the NBA will expand past 30 teams to recoup losses from the pandemic. Seattle and Las Vegas are the front runners to add a team.
Interesting. And we were just talking about Vegas getting a team.
Yeah, and the NBA's last expansion team was 2004 when they added Charlotte.
Right, the Bobcats.
Yep. So, man, Seattle and Las Vegas, I feel like Seattle's been like talked about for pretty much since they left. Was like,
honestly,
we need Supersonics back.
They should get a team before Vegas, just because I would love to see
KD
the
gonna leave the
Supersonics
Nets just to
back.
go to the Supersonics.
Bruh, that would be amazing. I would fucking love. And then Russ leaves too, or such.
How crazy would that be?
Russ goes back. Like,
Harden
that
goes.
would be amazing.
How crazy would have like KD, Russ, and Harden met back up like on the Supersonics or some shit?
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
They
I would love that. I didn't even see
trio.
that news, so that's pretty awesome right there.
Yeah, man, that'd be awesome. I'd be all
What if
down for
KD? What if Russ just goes to Brooklyn? What if Kyrie goes somewhere and Russ just goes to Brooklyn next year and they reunite
True.
there and just start running shit?
that. Alex gonna be pissed.
They'd be, yeah.
He's gonna
but
love
that
it.
team,
That's when
that
he's gonna
trio
be
went
like
to a
Russ
championship.
fan at that point.
yeah, it's like if Aaron Rodgers went to the Steelers, he would love Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but you're right. That team did go to a chip. They did go to a championship. Got stopped by Braun.
Yeah, but now they be that shit right now. Now they're all MVPs. You know what I mean? Now they're all former MVPs.
Crazy.
Oh my god, Russ would probably not be getting the triple doubles anymore.
I wouldn't think so. You never know.
Yeah, Harden be pulling rebounds and assists. So, but anyway.
Yeah, that's all the
You wanna
NBA
get
news
to
I
these-
have. So we can hop right into your hot and nots or the NBA brackets or the games here if you want.
We talk about these games tonight.
Okay. Yep.
So far, we had the Pacers drop 144 points. Okay.
Man, I'm glad I didn't bet because I was gonna bet that the Pacers were gonna lose because they had like a ton of injured people. They had a ton of players out tonight.
Right, and I thought,
including Caris LeVert.
I thought like LaMelo and all them were gonna come out and ball, but nope.
Oh,
Turns out the Pacers whooped them.
He looked like a rookie tonight.
They dropped 40 points in that first quarter, bro. So they're a team that like really wants to be in the playoffs. They win this, they got to win one more game. They get that 8 seed. So I do have them as my 8.
One factor for the Pacers was a dude I didn't even know was in the league anymore, and that's Doug McDermott, old Dougie McBuckets.
I didn't know he was still in the league either.
I didn't know that either, but he is one of the reasons why the Pacers were off to such a hot start, man. Let me just look at the stats that he had here. Where is he at? Doug McDermott. Oh, he had 21 points. 4 of 6 3-pointers. Dude, yeah, he was balling. And I was like, Doug McDermott, I haven't seen him since the Bulls traded him back in the day. Like, what's he been doing? He's just been bouncing around teams. He's so quiet.
Right.
But yeah, man.
But that other game here, it's actually being played right now, so we don't have the final result for you. You will have the final result when you're watching this. But currently, Jason Tatum has 31 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and it's the third quarter.
Alive.
He's balling right now. Russ has 13 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists. So Russ is doing his thing, but they're still losing by 13 points right now. It's 76-63 as of the moment we speak. We'll update you by the end of the podcast on that.
Yeah.
Like I said, you'll know what the end result is anyway, but I do want to keep checking it on this game, okay?
Yeah, so the next game is it's looking like it's going to be like Indy and Washington, right?
Right, for that 8 seed. Indian. Yeah, exactly.
If Washington loses.
If Washington loses.
Yeah, they would play Indy.
I think the Pacers get that seed, regardless of who they were going to play in this game. To be honest with you,
Do you think they're going to beat the Wizards
they're
if they
going to
play
beat
them?
they're going to beat the loser of this game,
Oh.
regardless. I don't care which team loses, the Wizards or the Celtics. The Pacers would beat them and be in
Oh.
that 8th seed. I think the Pacers are better than both of those teams, to be completely honest with you.
Oh.
But like you said, LeVert was out tonight, so with him back, I don't
And
know,
Beal's not playing, right? Beal's out.
yeah, but LeVert's probably out. What? Because he's in healthy safety protocols. Is he out like 2 weeks or?
Yeah, they're saying he's going to be out for multiple weeks.
Geez. So we'll see what Pacers do without him, but I do trust the Pacers. So I think the Pacers get the 8th seed. I think I did predict Washington to get the 7. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna stick with it, but Boston might end up with that. But I did want to hit on this before we get to Wednesday's games.
Mm-hmm.
The hottest and the nottest, like you were saying.
Of course, yeah.
Going into the playoffs here, the hottest team was Golden State with Stephen Curry. They won 6 straight games to really get in a good position in that play-in tournament. 8-2 over the last 10 games there. The Nets, 5-game winning streak. 6-4 going into the playoffs, just making sure they were staying cohesive because they just kind of got the big three back together.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get time in for that. Then my Lakers, okay? 5-game winning streak going into the playoffs. 6-4 over the last 10 because we dropped some bells, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But 5-game winning streak going into the playoffs with a hobbled LeBron and all this, and just making sure AD's trying to get back to strength. We didn't have Schroeder back yet, so I like what I'm seeing. I hope we can win tomorrow and do something with the Suns. I would rather play them than Jazz, to be honest. So I think we can hang with the Suns, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But that kind of leads me to the nottest. That's not a word, but the nottest list. Okay. Clippers are on a 2-game losing streak. It's not too bad, but they're 4-6 going into the playoff here, which is not too great. People talked about did they lose games to avoid the Lakers and all this blah blah blah, and I doubt it, but
I wouldn't think so.
Right. And then as far as another one here, I had the Charlotte Hornets, which they lost tonight anyway, but I had them on here because they were on a 5-game losing streak coming into this, 3-7 over the last 10. And then I also had San Antonio on here because they're on a 4-game losing streak coming into the playoffs, 2-8 over the last 10. So see what happens, man. But we do have the games tomorrow: Lakers and Warriors, and then the Spurs and Grizzlies.
And the Grizz.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I'll start out with the Spurs and the Grizz. I think the Grizz are going to take this game.
Okay.
I think Ja Morant's going to have a hell of a game. I mean, he's been having a great season so far. And I just haven't seen the Spurs enough to judge, but I just feel like, man, the Grizzlies, Ja Morant and that squad, I think they're going to be able to beat them Spurs.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I really think, to be honest with you,
you think them Spurs? Oh yeah, it's not gonna matter.
That
was just my pick for that game.
I know. It was like I set you up. I'm sorry.
Right.
The Warriors. I really, truly, genuinely believe the Lakers could beat the Warriors tomorrow. So I'm gonna just stick with that. Okay, that is in my mind. That's fact. So we'll just roll with that. Okay. The Warriors are gonna beat whoever they play, Spurs or Grizzlies. So the Warriors will end up getting the 8th seed, and the Lakers will have the 7. That's just in my mind the way it's looking right now. It might look different on Thursday.
I can totally see that happening.
That's what I think is going to happen. As far as this game, I do go with you. I think the Grizzlies will win this game regardless. And then they might give the Warriors or the Lakers a tough match and end up in the 8th seed. Who knows? But I think the Grizzlies do win that game.
Yeah. I think, what you're saying, regardless of whoever loses the LA Golden State game is going to win the next one, I feel.
Exactly.
It doesn't even matter. So
if we lose, we'll beat Grizzlies or the Spurs, and get the 8th seed and play Jazz in the first round. So
yeah. Because I mean, if we want to be realistic, these first 2 games that happen tonight, none of those teams are going to be in the finals. Like Charlotte, Washington, Boston, Pacers, none of those teams are going deep into the playoffs. So technically, none of those games matter. I mean, you're really looking at the Lakers and the Warriors out of these play-in games.
Exactly.
What's going to happen. And I mean, I think most of the eyes are on the Lakers because I think out of all those teams, the Lakers are obviously the strongest out of them
They
all.
still, I think, are the fourth highest odds to win the championship, and they're
Yeah.
a play-in game.
I saw something
ridiculous.
about the lowest seed that's ever went and won the championship was a 6 seed, and the Lakers are a 7 seed.
Can we set a new record? Can we make history?
Can you do
LeBron making history every year.
it? Can you do it?
All right, so let's get into the seeding. Okay, like
Yeah.
in my head, the Warriors have the 8, the Lakers have the 7, the Pacers have the 8, Washington has the 7. So I'm gonna roll with it like that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Jazz-
that sounds right.
Is that what you would think?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just roll with that as the hypothetical playoffs.
Yeah.
Jazz Warriors first round. What do you got?
Jazz and Warriors. I think.
Don't have to predict what game it ends in or nothing. Just the
Yeah.
winner.
I think overall, I think the Jazz are going to take that series.
I'm
And that's
taking
nothing
Golden
against
State.
Steph Curry and the Warriors. I just don't think the Warriors have the depth to go to win that series against the Jazz.
Gotcha. I'm going with Golden State. I think
Golden State's going to knock the 1 seed out of the playoffs.
I think Golden State will knock the 1 seed out of the playoffs. And
You need to write that on a note. Write that on a note. That's a bold prediction.
All right, I'll write that shit down. But I'm gonna also keep tally of our series.
Because Golden State would be like the
through
8 seed, right?
playoffs.
Let's see. What
Yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be an 8 beating the 1.
you think the 8's
So-
going to beat the 1? Oh, my Lord.
Yes, I have Golden State winning this series, so I'm gonna write Golden State
Jesus. Madman.
beats Jazz. Okay, and then this is real a real crazy prediction because we don't even know if Golden State's gonna end up playing the Jazz. Okay, so
Yeah.
that may only be up for 1 week. We'll see how long that's thinking.
That's
about
true.
actually
That
lasts.
is true.
But I have
I
Golden State.
would
winning
assume
that.
that the Lakers are going to beat the Warriors on Wednesday night, but hey, you never know.
Exactly. And then we got Clippers and Mavs. I'm going with
Clippers.
Mavs. I'm
Go
going
with the Mavs again. Oh my God! Oh,
Mavs,
just go
brother,
with the
crazy.
underdogs.
Listen, I'm crazy, okay?
I'll go with the Clippers.
We're gonna have a real disparity here by the end of it. Okay. All right. Got the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George.
We might have to
pandemic
redo
Heat.
this next week, depending on how these games unfold or whatever. Or the
I'll
week after
say.
it goes.
Let's see.
Okay, next game.
Nuggets versus the Blazers.
Oh,
What you got? I'm going with Denver. I'm not that crazy. I'm gonna go with Denver on this one. This is probably one of the more closer series, and I'm
what
gonna go
seeds
with
Denver? 4?
Denver's a 3.
Three.
Blazers are a 6.
Man,
Dame Dollar, he's hot, but
there's a part of me that wants to go with the Blazers.
I
Just
know,
because,
me
man,
too.
they always somehow get on like some kind of run before it ends, like in the playoffs.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the Blazers.
So we're
Screw
opposite every way.
I'm gonna go with the
So
Blazers
far.
just for the sake of the show and just because I have my gut saying Blazers. Dame
I
Dollar,
feel ya.
it's game time, playoffs.
Denver got the MVP though, not according to LeBron, but Denver
That's
got
true.
the MVP.
That's true, but they don't have what's his name bullets out for the season.
Jamal Murray.
Paul Murray, yeah. I mean,
But-
they do have like Aaron Gordon too, but
They're gonna be balling.
yeah,
All right. Then we got Suns and Lakers. This
that's
is
a
tough.
hard, that's a tough
This is
series right there,
tough.
man.
This is tough. Like, if I wasn't a Lakers fan, it'd be hard to pick the Lakers right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm gonna pick the Lakers because like I can't not pick the Lakers. You know, I think the Suns are a 1 seed. I feel like it's like the Jazz and the Suns are 1A and 1B. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
it's kind of. But I'm gonna roll with LA.
I want to pick the Suns. The only reason I'm wary is because, like, man, the Lakers, you guys got big men. I feel
Yeah.
like the Suns don't really have big men.
We got them 2 towers down there, Drummond grabbing boards.
Yeah,
AD.
that's like
slot-
the only reason that I'm on the fence. But I'm gonna pick the Suns. Let's do it. I'm gonna pick the Suns. Let's do it.
Fair
Screw
enough.
it.
Fair enough.
We go in a whole different bracket on this one.
Every one of our picks is different.
I have
so
more
far.
confidence in the Suns winning that than the Blazers winning beating the Nuggets.
All right, then we move to the East here. We got
Yeah.
the Sixers versus the Pacers.
Sixers gonna win that game.
Sixers. I'm with you on that. It's the first one we agree. All right, and then we got the Knicks and the Hawks. It's the Knicks are a 4 seed, the Hawks are a 5. The Hawks have been quiet all
Hawks
year.
have been really quiet, but man, them Knicks right now. Tom Thibodeau, and then you got the veteran backcourt. I'm going with the Knicks.
Me too. So we agree on both of the first two games or first two series out of the East there, and
Look
then
at
the
us.
next one is the Bucks versus the Heat.
Ooh.
I'm going
Rematch from
Miami.
last year.
I'm going with Miami. I think Jimmy Butler is going to will this team at least through the first round, no matter who's in his way. And the Bucks, it's hard to go against them. Giannis is a monster, but I'm just like you're saying, my gut is telling me Miami's going to win this series here.
Yeah, I'll go with Miami.
You roll.
I can see. I'm gonna roll with Miami. That defense, man. Miami's defense, and man, they're getting hot at the right time as well. I feel
Exactly.
like Rose heating up, like he's playing well. Jimmy's gonna enter playoff Jimmy mode. Man, you got Bam, bro. Yeah,
I'm rolling with Miami on that
Miami
one.
for sure.
And then the next series here is kind of some BS. You got the Nets versus Washington, or
Yeah,
whoever
we
gets
roll-
the 7.
rolling with the Nets.
Rolling
So
with the Nets on
we're
that.
gonna agree on the East so far.
We did agree on pretty much all. Actually, every single one of the
Every
East.
single one of the East, and we differ on like every single one of the West so far.
We disagreed on the whole West, so we'll see how that
Okay.
ends up playing out. But that's all the NBA news I really had this week here.
Okay. So let's kind of roll. It's a little different this week, so we're gonna roll into some NFL news here. Let's go back to what I got here first. We're gonna talk about Tom Brady, of course. I feel like there's never a week that doesn't go by we don't mention Tom Brady in some
I'll talk
fashion.
about
Tom Brady needs 1,155 passing yards to pass Drew Brees for the most in NFL history. And how about New England as a fitting place to do it? If Brady matches his 2020 season average of 289 yards for the first 4 games of 2021, he will have enough to pass Brees in Week 4 against the Patriots.
So I'm supposed to believe that none of this is fixed, none of this is rigged. I'm supposed to believe that. All right, whatever. Actually, that's pretty amazing. I would love to see that. That would be really cool. I hope we win the game, but I would love to see that. You know,
I feel like
obviously.
New England would be happy for Tom if it happens during the game. But like if they celebrate, like if they say it like right after the game, they go and they lose, New England might be booing them because they lost. But who knows?
I think he's going to be met with like elation.
I think they're going to have a video prepared for his return. I think
They're
the stadium's going to be going wild for Tom Brady's return.
They're going to be. If I was in that stadium, I'd be going crazy. I'd be like, "Come on now, you know what I'm saying?"
Sure.
He might be the enemy now, but he's.
But I'm
he's
saying
still
maybe
Tom
depending how the game goes, it could take a turn, and then met with some booze.
I don't know, man. We're not Philly fans. I don't think we're going to be booing Tom Brady. There's no way. Y'all boo Santa Claus. He's like he means more than Santa Claus to us. So there's no way we booing Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is. I actually have a stat here that could have been saved for the crazy sports fact of the podcast.
Okay.
But Tom Brady has played 299 NFL games, and he's never played one in the city of Los Angeles, ever.
Really?
Yeah. That happens week 3 this year versus the Rams, and maybe again on the 13th. That's why it came
he's
up.
played in like 40 stadiums or something like that.
That's crazy.
He's played in like a ton of stadiums because
Never
he's been
played
around
one
so
in
long.
LA.
But now he's about to be in SoFi. Because there's that another stadium. I want to look that up. I might have that for next week. How many different stadiums he's played in, and see like what quarterbacks have played in the most. Like that's just like a longevity type of thing.
Yeah, that is a good one to bring up. Former Eagles running back Corey Clement is signing with the New York Giants. He's a trader.
Yeah, but you got a trader this week too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that then. But I didn't want Corey Clement on the team. I was expecting us to cut him, but man, you gonna go enjoy the Giants? Like, come on, man.
It happens, man. Al Van Noy jumped ship and now he's back. So,
according to Vic Fangio, is going to be a 50-50 draw between reps between Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater during training camp. Not necessarily 50-50 each day, but to have it be close to that overall. And he also joked that he may flip a coin on who gets the first snap of the offseason.
Of course.
And I'm like, and this is how you expect. This is kind of organization that this Broncos team is they just like, instead of committing to one quarterback to like game plan around, we're just going to share reps between these two quarterbacks. Hey, I'm going to flip a coin. See who like, are they not taking this seriously? I feel like how do Broncos fans feel about this franchise right now?
Hopefully, their new executive of football operations and special advisor to the GM, Kelly Klein, can actually step in because she's been in Minnesota for 9 years. This is going to be her 10th year in the NFL, and she's stepping into a huge role in Denver there.
Maybe so, this is like all a ploy, and unless they actually go through with an Aaron Rodgers trade, then they won't have to worry about it. But
we'll see.
That's just like that. Man. Like reading that, I was like, this has to be like some kind of joke. Like these, like, come on now, flip a coin. He actually said that shit. Speaking of the Giants, we talked about though. The name I haven't heard in a while, Kelvin Benjamin signed with the Giants as a tight end.
As a tight end. So like he's another one that's making a position change to see if he can come back into the NFL, kind of like Tebow there.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I mean, he was having a lot of injury issues at wide receiver, and I think that's kind of why he fell off. And then like he got fat for a minute. But, like, I feel like going to a tight end, he's just going to get beat up more, man. If he's, like, running across the middle or even if he's blocking and stuff, he's going to get beat up more.
We'll see. Like I said, he might not even make the team.
May not even make the team. An interesting stat here. I don't know if you saw this. Since 2016, every Super Bowl champions bye week has been in order. From 2016, it goes 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And the only teams this year that have a Week 14 bye are your Patriots, my Eagles, the Dolphins, and Carson Wentz's Indianapolis Colts.
I saw this. I did, and I wanted to say something to you about it, but I forgot. I did completely forget.
This is kind of like talking about what you were saying. Is this shit set up? Is this rigged?
You're trying to tell me, like, because, like, think about it, the schedule's already on a rotating thing, you know, like, there's all these checks and balances in place. Like, I watched a, 15-20 minute video the other day on how they come up with the NFL schedules, and, like, it's just some wild shit, but, like, man, like you said, am I supposed to believe this isn't rigged? But I don't want to get there right now, but
I like my chances based off of a ridiculous little stat.
We both have a 25% chance of winning the Super Bowl. That's how I look at that. Okay.
I just want to let y'all know, me and Vern have, like, Patriots and Eagles have 25% chance already of winning a Super Bowl. Carson Wentz has 25% chance of winning a Super Bowl.
He does, and the damn Dolphins.
That sucks even more. That, like, you have a divisional team that could win that shit.
Right. It's all good.
The Broncos. We talked about this past couple weeks. The Broncos have officially cut offensive tackle Juwan James, who tore his Achilles, made big news because it's not in the contract that if you get hurt outside of an NFL facility, they're not inclined to pay you any of that money on your contract because you weren't hurt in the facility. And they officially cut him. Apparently he's going to be going to the NFLPA and he's going to be appealing. Like, he's going to be like, apparently he's bringing lawyers into it. He wants, like, compensated. And I mean, I just don't know how far he's going to get with that. With, like, you sign a contract, that's in the deal, man.
The NFL's lawyered up too, man. So
exactly. I mean, I feel like if that's in the deal where it states, like, if you get hurt outside of, like, an NFL facility, like, it's already there. Like,
and then you get hurt outside of an NFL facility.
Yeah, like you're fighting a losing battle at that point.
I feel for him, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I had another one here, man, that it's the Broncos as well. Who was it? Let me pull it up here. I just saved it.
You should just write it all down so you don't gotta be scrolling all over the place.
Broncos have waived wide receiver Deshaun Hamilton, who suffered a torn ACL as well, practicing.
Okay.
So, I mean, 2 players already that got hurt. It didn't say whether he was in an NFL facility or not. It just says he just tore his ACL. And I'm like, ugh, I don't know, man. It's
starting early for him like it did last year.
Yeah. Washington is allowing right tackle Morgan Moses to seek a trade, apparently. So that's a good right tackle that's possibly out there. Maybe someone scoop him. You need a right tackle?
Nah,
No.
we do.
I also have the schools with the most drafted players of all time. And Notre Dame is
Okay.
the number 1 team with
Okay.
520. Then you got USC with 516. And then Ohio State University
The Ohio State
with
University.
473 players.
Damn. That's good.
Yeah.
I was glad we're top 3. I thought we'd be top 5, but that's good.
Yeah, and then the last bit of news I have here is Joe Burrow's knee surgeon says that he's all systems are go for week 1 of the season.
Oh yeah, I saw that as well. That's great news. Like, hopefully he can last throughout the whole year here, but I
Yeah.
would love to see him and Herbert match up. You know, I want
For
to see
sure.
that quarterback match up. But I only had 1 or 2 other things here as far as NFL.
Okay.
This is just like a little article I was reading on ESPN by David Purdom. He was
Mhm.
talking about sports betting and how crazy the last 3 years have been since the Supreme Court has ruled it legal. You know,
Yeah.
it's only been 3 years, okay? We have
Jeez.
21 states that have legalized it. It was $4 billion of revenue for sports betting just in March.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of ridiculous. Like, it's going to be on a whole nother level here going forward with sports betting. They were talking about in the article about people who don't even fuck with sports betting are getting bombarded by ads from it and everything. It's just literally everywhere
It's
right
in
now.
everybody's face.
It's in everybody's face, and it's getting like crazier and crazier. So, and now with more and more leagues completely buying into it and getting official sponsors from different sports books and things like that, it's only going to be even more and more hectic and crazy and more money. And we'll see what happens. But a lot of pictures on Twitter are going to be posted of crazy parlays, you know, from here on out. So making me jealous.
I know. I always man, I should have thought of that. Or like something like that, or like I already have a bet in right now for like the divisional winners of the NFL. I've already put one in, bro, of who's gonna win each division. I already went in and put a bet on. It's like for like $200 and something, you know. So it's because it's so early.
Yeah, damn, that's good though. You might
Yeah,
end
like
up-
if I hit it, I'll be getting
That'd
some
be-
back. Maybe them odds change by the time the end of the season rolls. I could make some good money. Who knows?
But as far as these, the only last thing in NFL I had is what to get your MVP prediction. Way too early MVP prediction. If you had to think, who's going to win the MVP in 2021-22?
Man, that is a hard question. There's a lot of factors that go into it because it could be one of the usual suspects as well, or it could be someone that has a breakout season. Let me tell you. I'll give you like a realistic option and one that I possibly could think could happen.
Okay.
One that I think could happen is I think Patty Mahomes could win MVP again this season.
Okay.
They
That's perfectly feasible.
They showed up. They like toughened that O line up. They made a like big point this offseason to go out and get O linemen, and they're stacked right now. So man, he'll have all the protection he needs to get all these like crazy receivers open. I think that he definitely possibly win an MVP award. My sleeper, who possibly he has a breakout year on a new team, good offense, good offensive line. Carson Wentz could win an MVP award, man.
I'm with you, man. He was close. He was close 2017.
He's
so
close.
Like, why
I'm
not?
just saying, if he can. I mean, he's under the Frank Reich system. They have weapons. They have a good O-line. I think that team was already good under Phillip Rivers. I think, man, if Carson can get back to being Carson, he could be in the running. It's possible.
Completely agree with you. Completely agree with you on that. Like that's definitely a good pick for like a not a bold. It's not that bold, but it's like bolder. Like because like you said, you got your usual suspects and then maybe a breakout potential. Here.
I think there's a higher chance of like Pat Mahomes winning it over Carson, but man, I could see it happening. Like Carson,
I'll give you one of each as well.
I could definitely see him at least win a comeback player of the year. You know, Carson.
I'll give you realistic who I think can win it, and then the sleeper. Realistically, I think because of the schedule and a lot of factors go into it as far as the receiving corps and everything, Tom Brady might end up winning this MVP. To be honest with you, if he has
talks of them going 17-0.
If he has a cupcake season, they go 16-1, 15-2, 17-0, and he has 5,000 yards, 40.
Easily
Like, there's
could
a
win
good chance
an
he
MVP.
could win MVP this year, realistically.
Wins
It'll
an
be a tight race.
MVP, wins a Super Bowl in the same year, and then retires. Like goes out with an MVP and a Super Bowl.
Like, it's wild that he's so successful still at this age, but it makes me like not want to doubt the fact that this 44-year-old man could win MVP in
For
a
sure.
league with a 20-year-old Mac Jones. You know what I mean? But like,
I could see like even without Patty Mahomes and stuff, I could see Tom Brady winning it over Carson too. I'd like for
Yeah.
some reason it didn't even click to Tom Brady, but
I
you make
think
a
schedule
very valid point.
schedule goes into that because it's a little bit different. He's gonna be playing some easier defenses, so schedule definitely factors into that.
Yeah,
But I
but
think he
I
has
mean,
potential.
another factor is it's literally the same team they're bringing back.
Exactly.
They already
Exactly.
have a rapport with each other. Like, man, they're just gonna hit the ground running. I feel.
We'll
And,
see if they hit that slump or not. But Tom Brady doesn't tend to hit that slump. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
we'll see. There's 52 other men on that team, though. So
Make a very good point. I am inclined to agree with you there.
that's my realistic one that I want to go with. But my kind of sleeper pick,
Okay.
you're not gonna like this.
Uh-oh. Dak Prescott.
I think he was on fire before he got hurt, bro. He was on fire.
As
Like,
soon as you said I'm not gonna like this, like yeah.
I knew you would know. Like, but like he led the league in passing for like 2 weeks after he got hurt. Like that
Yeah.
shit is wild to me. Like Dak Prescott is a very good chance to win MVP. Whether or not they have success long term,
That was the next question I was going to ask you, and not to be like because I hate on Dallas. My question is, he could be successful, but will he be considered if they have a terrible record?
If they're 7-9, no matter what. I mean, maybe. I just don't. I don't think so because even you. I don't know. They don't treat it, I guess, the same as the NBA, but I just
It'd be
don't
hard
see
to
him
give
get-
someone an MVP with that kind of record.
even someone with slightly less stats with a more winning team, you know.
Yeah,
But so that definitely factors into it. But if they're
for sure.
if they win the division, or I don't know, man, I just think he's a sleeper. It's more of a chance for Carson to win it than him, but I think
Yeah.
he's a sleeper in that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that as well. I hope not, but I could see it.
But that's all I had for that as well. So that's all the NFL
Okay.
news I had there.
The next thing I have here before we go into the bias bowl and everything, of course, is the Stanley Cup playoffs are happening
Yes.
as of right now. And of course we have like the brackets here. In the North, the games we got the Maple Leafs versus the Canadiens, the 1 and 4 seed. Then you got the 2 and 3 seed Oilers versus the Jets. The West, you have 1 and 4 is Avalanche and the Blues, and then the Golden Knights versus the Wild. In the East, we got the Penguins versus the Islanders, the Capitals versus the Bruins, the Central, and the last we got Central is the Hurricanes and Predators and Panthers and the Lightning. As of tonight, the Wild and Golden Knights game just started as we're going. Minnesota leads 1-0.
Which is surprising to me, but
Yeah.
they do. They're up right now.
Yeah. As of right now, the Penguins just won tonight, so they tied the series 1-1 with the Islanders. And the Lightning now are leading 2-0 against the Panthers in that series. So
They're the reigning champs, right?
yeah, reigning champs. The Lightning, they're already off to a hot start. Let me see these other games here. The Bruins, they tied the series last night 1-1 against the Capitals.
Playing tomorrow.
Yep. Hurricanes are up 1-0 against the Predators. They stomped the Predators 5-2. And then Colorado is up 1-0 on the Blues. They stomped them 4-1.
Okay.
But that's the way it's looking as of right now. Yeah, that's all the games that I had. I was just checking ESPN to make sure I didn't miss anything. But that's all the games I have as of right now. But it's very early. But it's looking like the best team as of right now going forward is, man, them Tampa Bay, those reigning champs, them Lightning. They're doing
And
their thing.
even it's just kind of surprising seeing Vegas drop that first game, but besides the Bruins, I'm always kind of secretly rooting for Vegas. There's something about the Golden Knights I like, you know, but
I do
definitely
like
root
the
for the
Golden
Bruins
Knights,
here.
but you're right. I was not expecting them to drop that game 1 against the Wild.
Right.
Man, I don't know. It's some of these games could go either way. I mean, the Bruins and Capitals, that's a really good series so far. I don't know who's going to come out of that one.
Up right now.
Yeah, I could see Pittsburgh squeaking it out against the Islanders, but I mean, it is
Yeah.
all these games are interdivision, so they're all going to be tough. I mean, other than tonight, I think tonight broke it, but pretty much all the game ones, I think all of them went to overtime. Like almost every
Damn.
game in the game one series of each game, like went to overtime. It was crazy. Like they were all really good game ones.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
what you want to see too.
exactly. And I mean, even the Bruins Capitals game last night for game two went into overtime. But yeah, that's all the Stanley Cup playoffs as of right now. I mean, of course, it's not as exciting as the NBA. I mean, that's pretty much NHL fault for not promoting it for all these years as much.
It's
It's
so
just
awesome to
it doesn't
watch.
have the pool as the NBA either. I feel like,
Right.
especially in the States, you know.
Still gonna let you know what's going on.
Exactly. But that's all I have for the NHL. So we can just hop right in here, the bias bubble, man. What do you have this week?
All right. So I got a lot for my Patriots this week. So I will start with the Lakers.
Okay.
So season's over. Finished the season.
Yep.
Finished 42-30. Not as good as last year's record. You know, I think we only lost 15 or 16 games last year, but still, 72 game season, shortened season, 42-30. Not bad. Not great. Wednesday, as of this airing, it'll already be played, but tomorrow we play the Warriors. Stephen Curry.
I
who
want to
LeBron
stay up
called
to watch
the
that
MVP.
game, but man, it starts at like 10:30.
Starts at 10:30, right? It's ridiculous. Like that's life as a Lakers fan, though. So like it is what it is. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I was very happy about the 5 wins going into the playoffs here. I want to hopefully we can maintain
Yeah.
that. You know,
And that's exactly what we talked about before is you guys want to get everybody in the game and get momentum rolling into the playoffs. And it worked out perfectly for you guys.
exactly what we wanted to do. And then LeBron did tweak his ankle a little bit in that
Ooh.
last game there. Not the last one, but it's just scary to see when comes down, hops up, and limps to the bench.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man! Like it just makes me wary. It makes me very wary. But I have a lot of faith in them. Like they just won the chip last year. I'm gonna just keep rolling with them.
This
You know
dude
what I
got
mean?
his ankle in an air cast in between every game now just to make sure he's good.
But yeah. So we'll see what happens. I might have some positive things to say. I might have some negative things to say next squad pod. So we'll see what happens with them.
Yeah.
As far as the Patriots, we signed good old Brian Hoyer back.
I did see
okay?
that. I actually had that here in case you didn't have it.
Brian Hoyer is back. Okay, I'm
So now
very
you got
happy.
like 3 QBs on the roster.
We got 4
4
quarterbacks on
QBs.
the roster. Okay, we have Brian Hoyer, Jarrett Stidham, Mac Jones, and Cam Newton. The
Oh my
last time we
gosh.
had 4 quarterbacks on the roster was the year 2000, and that 4th quarterback was Tom Brady.
Oh.
Okay, just saying, you know, because you know how it's all fixed. But just saying, Stidham is probably going to be gone. To be honest with you, he's out. He's going to be odd man out. Like, why would we go out and sign Hoyer and keep Stidham?
I actually
He's
had a
gonna
bit
be-
of news. I don't know if you saw it today involving Stidham.
What?
Apparently, the Texans have reached out to the Patriots regarding QB Jared Stidham
There you go.
in the week since the draft. Not urgent to sacrifice much for the young QB, but something to monitor in the coming weeks. So
There you go,
apparently,
right there.
the Texans at least have interest in Jared Stidham.
See, I didn't even see that, and I was talking about. I wrote down Stidham gone ? You know,
Yep.
so like, we'll see what happens here.
There you go.
He has a $1.09 million contract, non-guaranteed. So like,
Okay.
it's really, I don't know if he survives training camp, to be honest with you. The Patriots have only 3 primetime games this year. Only 3. Sunday night game, week 4 against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Thursday night game, week 11 against the Falcons. Like I said, we'll have Julio Jones by that point. And then Monday night, week 13 against the Bills is our only 3 primetime games this year. And now things could be flexed. Maybe we're good and they give us a couple more at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But like, only 3.
Damn.
The Giants and the Patriots are going to be holding joint practices. We play you guys week 2 of the preseason, and then we play them week
Yep.
3. So we're going to be holding joint practices with them. Beat COVID.
We COVID. It's back. We back, baby. Full fans in the stadiums this year. I am ready. We beat it.
But I'm very happy to hear about joint practices coming back. This is great news. Okay, I'm going to tell you this next one. Mac Jones has been blowing away people in practice, apparently. Like, blowing
I've
people
seen
away.
pictures and videos of him talking with like McDaniels and stuff, and McDaniels is like showing him stuff and teaching him.
They're
It was pretty
saying
cool.
that the Patriots coaches and teammates are like talking about how much they love his leadership, his knowledge, his accuracy, his film study, and his decision making. Like, and it's only been a couple weeks of training camp so far. So I'm actually like I told you a couple weeks ago when we drafted him, I'll let you know towards the beginning of the season who I think is going to start. As
Yeah.
of then, I think Cam Newton is the starter. Still, as
Yeah.
of right now, I think Cam Newton.
And like
is
we
the
said
starter.
before, I don't think Bill's going to announce the starter until like Thursday before the first game.
It'll be that Thursday or that Friday or
Or
Saturday.
that Friday
before
or
the game.
Saturday. Yeah, it's going to be the last minute. You're going to know.
Right. But it's like I have a meter, okay? We're going to monitor this meter all season to see like where it is, like Cam Newton or Mac Jones as the starter. Right now, it was on 100% Cam Newton. Now it's on like 98% Cam Newton because apparently he is balling in training camp. So that's really great news.
Yeah.
We have 4 games this year. This is my last piece here. We have 4 games this year where we're the home underdog. Okay, the Patriots, they are disrespecting the shit out of the Patriots right now. Okay? 3 primetime games, are you fucking kidding me? And 4 home underdog games. Week 3 against New Orleans. Week 4 against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Notice how I don't say Tampa Bay, I just say Tom Brady. Because I just write down TB. And then Cleveland, week 10, we're home underdogs. And week 16 against Buffalo, of course, home underdogs.
Okay.
So they're disrespecting the shit out of my Patriots. And I can't wait to prove them wrong. That's all I'm saying. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles. I think they only have three primetime games this year too, but that's just because we were terrible last year.
Yeah, too, so it's all good.
And we
had the
lost
same
Carson,
record.
but we lost a franchise QB, and we don't know who our next franchise is. It hurts. We don't know. Well, sorry. You can go ahead if you have any more, man.
Nope, I'm good. That's it.
Okay. This is probably the most Bulls news I've had on one of our podcasts.
Oh, wow.
Of course, the season's ended. We're not in the playoffs. Of course, you didn't hear us talk about the Bulls during the playoff stuff, so obviously they're out. We ended the season 31-41. Not very ideal.
Pretty much like almost identical to ours flipped.
31
42-30.
Not that great. A bit of news that was kind of surprising. Apparently, Zach LaVine may not seek a max deal with us. He could All-Star could give Bulls a discount if they add key role players around him.
That's good. He knows what he's trying to get. He's trying to get a championship.
Yep, exactly. Hopefully that happens, but we'll see. Zach LaVine is also the first player in Bulls history to make 200 threes in a single season.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's a change in the game thing. Like Steph Curry, everybody's chucking up threes. You got Zach LaVine taking the most threes ever for the Bulls. You know, like, and that's no disrespect to him, but like, think about the legends that you've had on the Bulls, and this dude is now the single season leader for 3-pointers. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, like Zach LaVine's great, but he ain't Michael Jordan, he ain't Steve Curry, he ain't Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
Derrick Rose even like
Getting buckets this year though, man.
he was balling. He was balling
balling.
all year.
Um,
Like I said, no disrespect to him. He's
Yeah.
the shit.
But some contract stuff here that I have. Restricted free agents here is Larry Markkinen, and Green. I expect Larry Markkinen to leave. He's already talked about like seeing what else is out there. I haven't been sold on him. He's always hurt, and
Yeah.
he just hasn't been playing well. He doesn't really seem like he's that aggressive at all. He's not really a great defender. So I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him leave. Unrestricted free agents is Thies, which I hope they bring Thies back, Daniel Thies.
I hope so too.
He's been balling
beast.
for us since he got traded over to
He's a
us.
beast on Boston.
Garrett Temple, who I expect they bring back. Denzel Valentine, I'm not really sure if they do. Maybe bring him back for depth. I'm not too sure. Cristiano Felicio, I have no idea why this dude is still on the team. He should have been gone 3 years ago. And the team option is on Ryan. I can never pronounce this dude's last name. It's like Arsid Diacono. It's weird, but he's been a solid backup point guard for us, behind Kobe White. And partially guaranteed contracts is for Satoransky and Thaddeus Young, which I hope they bring Thaddeus Young back, man.
Yeah.
He had an amazing season for us this year. Like he's had one of the best seasons of his career this late into his career. It's really cool to see.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Vooch has said that this trade wasn't just made for this year, it's made for the future of the franchise. which it sounds like he's planning on sticking around in Chicago. Zach LaVine has already planned a trip with multiple Bulls players this offseason to go just like work out and
Could we
and
twist back
play.
for a second here? Vooch
Yeah.
to me is a player like potentially could be a Giannis, could potentially be a Joker, could like potentially be that type of dominant big man. Like
Yeah,
I
he's a little
really
older than them though. I think
yeah,
he's like
but
30.
I just feel like if he ever like got to his full potential, man, he could be a beast down low, man. I know he already was in Orlando, but I just feel like, man, if he ever
Yeah.
reached his full potential, him and
Yeah,
Levine,
man. I am really glad we got him because what I've been saying it for a while now is what Chicago needed was a definite big man. And I mean,
right?
we had like I think it was Daniel Gafford and Wendell Carter in there, and they weren't a great fit. Like they were the centers, but they weren't big men. And man,
Right.
Vooch is that guy. Like he's out here making hoop shots and like those big men jumpers where they barely jump. And he's shooting threes too. This big man could shoot threes. And I mean, I am very excited to see him and Zach, and hopefully with the crazy free agency that's happening this offseason, maybe scoop one of them all-stars. Because Zach has one more year on his deal left before we can sign him to an extension. So if we can bring an all-star in this after like this offseason.
What if you wake up one morning like Alex did this year? Next thing you know, all these players try to go to the Bulls. You're like, what? Why? All right, whatever.
Kevin Durant has said, like, I think it was last week, whenever the Bulls played them, he said after the game that he's a huge fan of the Bulls and he loves that roster that's on the team right now. And he says that Zach's an amazing player. Bro, if we got KD, Vooch, and Zach LaVine,
that would be insane, bro. That would be insane.
And Kobe White at point guard in his third year, he'd be so pissed.
If they get a chip this year, then I think Alex would be completely fine.
Yeah, he would be all right with that. It was worth it.
It was worth it. It's like Toronto, borrowing Kawhi for a year. It was worth it.
Exactly.
The last thing I have towards Kawhi.
True, but who knows if he's going to leave the Clippers too? He might go somewhere else eventually.
They might have some hard feelings for him.
Yeah. Last thing I have here is like the new GM for the Bulls that came in this past offseason. I've never heard his name pronounced, so I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Arturas Karnisovas. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. But his quote said, "We will continue being aggressive in our efforts to make this team better. We will not settle for mediocrity in Chicago." And I'm just like, yes, that's what I want to hear.
Some good shit going in the front office there.
And I mean, just in the course of 1 year, I'm already like down with what they're doing so far. They brought Vooch in, they brought Thiessen, they brought a lot of decent players in, and I can't wait to see like an actual full off season with the free agents that are going to be out there. See what they do.
An 82 game season next year. We should have a full year next year.
Exactly, and they should have like a full training camp going into a full year with like the new squad with Zach LaVine and Vooch and whoever else is on there. Could be really
crazy
nice.
to think we're at this point where we're starting the 2021 playoffs right now, and like I can think about back during the pandemic, like months in when we think about like day 65 of Out Sports where we're sitting there going crazy, or like they're starting to talk about, oh, the NBA's planning this to get back to things and everything, and we're a couple weeks into talking about the NBA, and oh, they're doing this, oh, they're gonna have a bubble, oh, they're gonna actually play, this is how many games we're gonna play, and then like realizing, shit, this is gonna affect next season too, and like we're already living that through the 72 game season, like, so hopefully, like, time moves fast, man. But hopefully next year we got a full 82 game season, full capacity stands, everything back to normal with the NBA there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But that's all I have as far as Bulls. I do have some Eagles news here. You talked about with the Bulls waking up one day and finding that Kevin Durant or whatever be on the team. Not that quite magnitude, but the other day I woke up and saw that a rival is now on the Eagles, and that's old Brian Kerrigan, who from Washington, who's been terrorizing the damn every Eagles quarterback for the last 10 years, is now on the Eagles. His most sacks like come from Eagles quarterbacks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's so a large majority of them come from the Eagles quarterbacks. So it's great to see him come to our side. And man, it really reminds me of the Chris Long acquisition in 2017. because he's not going to be an every down player. He's going to be in the rotation going forward.
To bring that freshness, to bring him what he brings and still stay fresh.
Exactly. And I think I had it here where he's like, man, he's only missed like 6 games in his career, which is crazy, which is nuts. But our D-line rotation is going to be Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, Javon Hargrave, and Hassan Ridgeway, and then Ryan Kerrigan, Josh Sweat. And Josh Sweat has been amazing these past couple of years. So that defensive line could be really, really good this year. And the reason I say that is because the Eagles were 3rd in sacks last season. As bad of a season we had last year, we were 3rd in sacks. And with Ryan Kerrigan and a healthy Javon Hargrave, man, this pass rush could be deadly next year. And it could be covering up for a mediocre secondary right now because we haven't picked up a really good...
You made a trade today, right?
Yeah, I was going to get to that. The Jaguars traded cornerback Hosea. I don't know how his name, Hosea Scott to Philly in exchange for another cornerback, Jamison Houston.
Which didn't make sense, but okay.
And a 2023 6th-round pick. From what I've seen, that kid might be playing nickel. He's not going to be playing like CB2.
Okay.
But it's not even definite that he's going to be starting. He's just like, we traded just to have either depth or just to work him out and see if he's a good fit. But apparently we have our eyes on Steven Nelson, the old cornerback for Pittsburgh. I think I mentioned him last week.
Right.
Since last week, he's actually been liking a lot of Philadelphia Eagles posts that have been on Twitter, and he actually follows them on Twitter. So like every day I'm like,
shit.
Are we going to get an announcement? Because I would love to have him opposite of Slay, man. Like that would be a really good defense.
Nice.
I would feel a lot better about our secondary if we made that move. Because right now, that's the only really glaring hole on defense is the second cornerback spot.
Right.
And then we just picked up Casey Tucker. He's a tackle today. Apparently, he played for us a little bit last year, but he's not really that huge. And then NFL sacks since 2011. Since 2011, Ryan Kerrigan is 5th as well.
Damn,
I want to say
2011.
Since 2011. So it's like Von Miller, J.J. Watt, Justin Houston, Chandler Jones, and then Ryan Kerrigan. He has 95.5 sacks.
So he's almost at 100 for his career. That's going to be a nice milestone. I hope he hits it this year.
Hits it with Philly.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck it, dude. And apparently Nick Sirianni has agreed to a modified offseason after discussing it with his players. Now they have a very good attendance right now at NovaCare, with most of the team learning the new playbooks, and they will not have a mandatory minicamp right now since they've been playing. Apparently they've been in building in the facility working on the field for the last week and this week so far, and then they're going to have like a 3-day break and then leading up to the training camp here in the next month or so. But Nick Sirianni had his first press conference after the rookies reported, and they had like training. But now like Miles Sanders is in the building, Jalen Hurts is in there, like the whole team pretty much, except for Zach Ertz. He hasn't showed up. He hasn't showed up.
He don't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit. He just wants out. But apparently even like Fletcher Cox is there, Brandon Graham's there, even Jason Kelsey. So like everybody's there learning the new system, trying to get like a nice little rhythm going here early. So I'm very excited, man. He has nothing but nice things to say about Devontae and Jalen Hurts. He says they're clicking so fast already, like getting that connection back. I mean, I talked about them practicing already, but like just watching him, I get excited because every press conference he has, it feels like he drank 4 cups of coffee before going out there. He's so like animatic and excited.
Right.
So man, when he's talking about the actual practices that are happening now, like you could tell how excited he is about it. Cause he was saying that like, as advertised, Devontae's catching everything that's thrown his way. He's like, he doesn't even miss a catch. Like
he doesn't drop shit.
He's like what we've seen on tape. He's beating that. Like he's excelling what we've already seen on tape. Like I'm excited to see it.
I'm glad both our rookies, first rounders, are excelling in camp right now. That is so good to hear.
Yeah, I know, right? And I'm even more excited to like see actual training camp happen, to have videos of like Jalen Hurts slinging it and running. Because, like, man, as soon as it gets closer up to the season, I'm more interested now because I know what Devontae can be. I'm ready to see Jalen Hurts in that starting role going forward,
Yeah.
man. And I'm hoping he could be that next dude for us.
I think he can, man.
I hope so too. But that's all that I have for the Eagles this week.
Okay.
Nothing too
Got
great.
that. You know what time it is?
You know what time it is? Crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. I have a really good one here.
What you got?
It involves basketball.
Okay.
I actually went through and got a ton of them today. All right, here. So former NBA player Eric Money played and scored for 2 teams in the same game. And I will tell you how.
Yeah, because that's my next question.
In November of this is a story. In November of 1978, the Nets and the 76ers squared off in an early season NBA matchup. Things started to get weird when a Nets player received a second technical foul, resulting in an ejection. He kicked a chair while walking off the court, which led to referee Richie Powers to tee him again. Nets coach Kevin Lowry, who had 1 tech already, furiously protested, and Powers slapped him with 2 additional technicals. Because receiving 3 technical fouls in a game is supposed to be impossible, the Nets convinced the NBA commissioner Larry O'Brien to let them replay the second half of the game at a later date. However, between the first game in November and the second game in March, Eric Money was traded from the Nets to the 76ers, and he ended up officially playing the first half for the New Jersey and the second half for Philadelphia.
That's one of the wildest fucking facts I've ever heard in my life, dude. That was a damn good one. Oh my God.
I immediately getting on, I was like, man, I got a doozy for you tonight.
That is wild. Because I'm thinking, like, how the fuck? Like, I'm thinking in my head, like, did they have some wonky 70s rule where they didn't have enough players because of a bunch of techs and ejections, and they allowed him to
I was thinking when I first read, like, the little, like, beginning, I was like, how did I, like, what? I don't understand.
But they let him replay the second half of the game at a later date, and by that point he was already traded.
Yep,
and he
scored points on the other team for the 76ers.
That's incredible.
Like, shit you would probably never ever even see now. Like, they would never do that.
No, that's crazy, man.
Crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. That's what they're here for. But yeah, before we go, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out last week's episode as well as this new episode you already watched, and make sure to check out next week's episode. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter at SquadPodSports. And while you're on the page that you like and subscribe to already, hopefully, go check out all of our other content on there as well. The Squad Nights, Squad Pod, Cinema Trip Reviews, and then go check out Tap That as well for Alex's page. And that's all the sports news for this week. And hopefully there's a lot more next week. We'll be talking about the playoffs for the NBA, NHL.
Start Saturday, so we will have plenty of playoff talk on next podcast here.
Exactly. So stay tuned for that next week, and we'll see you later.
Peace.
Pod.